Louisville, Kentucky, the land of bluegrass. It's a little beachfront property this week as the most dominant team in the AVP, Todd Rogers and Phil Dalhausser, enter another final. With Dalhausser's crushing swings and Rogers' scrambling defense, they lead the Crocs Cup chase. But John Hyden and Brad Keenan, who beat them earlier this year, have different plans. The fifth stop of the AVP Crocs Tour comes at you from Louisville right now.
Sunshine never felt so good. Oh, and it's only getting better. We get around, 'cause now we're living a dream. We are living our dream, living our dream. We are living our dream, living our dream. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, happy Memorial Day. This is the home of Cassius Clay. This is the home of Churchill Downs and the Kentucky Derby. This is the home of the Louisville Slugger. This is Louisville, Kentucky! It's time to meet our performers. The young man out of Pepperdine University, the two-time NCAA Player of the Year, looking for his first ever title. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2007 Most Improved Player, Big Brad Keenan. Come on, kid. And his partner out of San Diego State University, the two-time Indoor Olympian and the two-time Open winner. Give it up for one of the best side-out players in the world, Johnny Jumba! Johnny Hyden. Most people are scared of this next young man, but I don't fear him. He is the most intimidating force on the entire planet. He is the reigning MVP of the AVP with 25 open wins. The Thin Beast, Phil Dalhausser. And his partner, we call him the Professor out of Santa Barbara, California. Over the last 3 years, he has been the winningest player in the world. 37 titles. The 2006 MVP, the Professor T-Rod, Todd Rogers. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to meet my broadcast partner, the greatest of all time, Coach Karai.
Thanks, Skeeter. The new team color for Hyden Keenan has to be white after getting a 13th last weekend. Brad Keenan has ditched the shirt for the first time in his career, something AVP star and girlfriend April Ross has been begging him to do. So he's got his sunscreen on. We're going to put our sunglasses on and follow his quest for career victory number 1.
Thanks, Karch. Here at the AVP this year, we're doing something innovative and new. Karch Karai and St. John Smith will be down on the sand. I will be handling the play-by-play with this microphone on my shirt and also be going to the house. We're trying to bring the live show into your living rooms. Here we go. Louisville, Kentucky! Are you ready?
And Big Brad puts it away. Hard shot, cross court. Your next server is Johnny Hyden out of San Diego State University, the three-time All-American. 2 open wins to his credit, Cincinnati and Vegas last year. Hyden goes at Rogers. And Raji with a chisel shot off block. Phil Dalhausser, your next server out of the University of Central Florida. 25 titles. 3-time best offensive player and MVP of the AVP.
Brad Keenan from the left side. And Keenan, a little soft tap over the line. Karch, just how confident is Brad Keenan these days, especially with going to the final a couple weeks ago in Huntington Beach?
Built up a lot of confidence, actually, and the thing we saw on that last play was that shot. He is really consistent with that. In prior years, he's been hitting that ball out too much.
Keenan's serve is long. Todd Rogers, 2006 MVP out of UC Santa Barbara. 4-time best defensive player in the world. Raji goes to Hyden. Hyden from the right side. Hyden, the cut shot, falls on the line. 3-2.
Hyden, 35 years old. Always been one of the best side-out players in the world. Serves it long for 3-3. Cards, the conditions, how do you think they affect this game?
Well, both teams have gone undefeated through the tournament, so it's plus it's cooler weather, so their conditioning is certainly not going to be a factor here.
Keenan. Brad Keenan, the sharp shot as we cross sides. It's time to Nautica.com navigate the match. And with that, we go down to St. John Smith. St. John, Phil and Todd, what do they need to do?
Well, Phil and Todd, they can set the tone of the whole match with one big block by Dalhausser. That's all it takes, and then the rest will follow. Karch, tell us about the other guys.
Well, a big key for both those players, Hyden and Keenan, is their off-season workout program. Brad Keenan lost almost 10 pounds, feeling much more svelte. In fact, so much so that he can ditch that shirt. He's not going to be embarrassed about it, and this is going to be a big factor.
Raji.
And the shot off the block and out of bounds.
Todd Rogers, Karch, not feeling his best physically this weekend.
Not at all. In fact, he felt a lot of flu symptoms and was in bed all day yesterday. They didn't have any day play, only had to play the match last night, had a lot of body aches and fever.
Big Brad, the cut shot. It's good.
Now, Karch, the no-shirt thing, no one's ever seen it out of Brad Keenan. You talked about his confidence, his girlfriend April Ross, and you know what? He's now got the best tan he said he's had in probably 10 to 15 years.
I don't know how that would rank on the AVP all-time list, but certainly not at the top. He's fired up, though. Because
yeah, he's a little pasty, you know. He was an accountant and came out and started balling out here on the tour, and he likes to have a shirt on.
Absolutely, and he's glad he has an extra week before his girlfriend gets home so he can improve that tan, and she can really admire it.
He said he felt liberated.
Raji, cut shot is good. 5-5.
So both teams feeling each other out here, Karch.
Absolutely. In fact, you could see shots from Rogers and from Hyden that are keeping Rogers keeping the Diggers just off balance enough that they're touching the ball but not coming up with it.
Dalhausser. One of the best jump serves in the world, if not the best. Hammers it at Keenan. And Phil taps it home. He hits the serve and sets himself. He is without a doubt the most dominant force in the game today.
And Phil Dalhausser is a freak of nature. You know, he leads the AVP in not only blocking, but he's one of the best setters. He's one of the most strongest offensive forces. And how about his serve? I mean, when he serves the ball, it's as if he's attacking.
Big Phil, he's about 6'9", jumps higher than I do. And I'm not a bad jumper.
The guy comes out here to buck 50 and just flies through the air and swats everything.
It's hard to score points on him and hard not to let him score points on you. From Phil, I mean, it's kind of put your helmet on, duck and cover. You got to stay disciplined and keep your arms ready to go.
Like if he doesn't block a ball, which never happens, he can run down and he spray digs and like one arm stab you to the net, and then Raji can finish it.
Phil's just a freak. I mean, come on.
The guy's unbelievable. I don't think there's like any flaws in his game, really.
I mean, I think Phil's probably the best beach volleyball player there ever was.
He just may be, Sean. He's definitely the most dominant of all time. Dalhausser to serve. Ball skips off the tape and is wide. We're tied up 6-6 here in game number 1. Hyden and Keenan, the only team to defeat Phil and Todd this year. They defeated him in the Gold Crown Challenge 2 weeks ago in Huntington Beach. Keenan. to Rogers.
Raji patiently puts it off the hands of Brad Keenan. 7-6 on the board. Clap it up, Louisville, Kentucky. Game 1. They're playing 21 must win by 2. 2 out of 3 format. If the split go to the third game, you got to win by 2. Louisville 15. Todd Rogers. Your serve.
Line.
Keenan, high hard, stick 'em up. 7-7 on the turn.
Can Hyden and Keenan stop the world champs? We'll see when we return. The 2008 AVP Louisville Open is brought to you by Crocs. Play hard, live comfortably. By Bud Light. Keeps it coming. By Kentucky Unbridled Spirit. And by Nautica. ShopNautica.com. Downtown Louisville, Kentucky. Game number 1. Hyden and Keenan leading 17-16.
Hyden has a chance.
And Hyden off speed, wrists away off the big dig. 18-16.
Johnny Hyden does it so well. Changes up his speed just at the right time. And he is happy about it. 18-16.
Phil Dalhausser shoots the line. We switch sides and we applaud at 17-18.
Kentucky, certainly an unbridled spirit.
Here I am with Aaron Walkfogle, a grumpy Aaron Walkfogle because he took 13th. He's out of the tournament, but it is Memorial Weekend. We're in Louisville, Kentucky. Historical Churchill Downs, the greatest horse racing facility of all time. This is going to be a good time. Home of Big Brown and the Kentucky Derby. Let's do this.
And what would they say about you? Little guy with big heart of gold. Gets out there, jumps high, mashes the ball hard, but hasn't been playing well lately.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, say hello to your horse, Aaron Walkfogle. Look at these people looking at Zeke. This says Woody Zorn is certified out to stud. You're officially out to stud.
Right.
Last year, Aaron and I were at Fenway Park in the owner's suite, and we were looking for the perfect Bud Light. I think we've found a match.
This is pretty close. It's cold and frosty, and when you get knocked out of the tournament by Carlucci and Hanneman, tour vets, grizzled veterans, you gotta knock back a little Bud Light.
This is Easter Woody.
Easter.
You would be like the Hulk Hogan of jockey round.
I would. No jockey would want to get me in a cage fight.
This is St. Patty's Day, Woody.
Yeah.
You know, you can side out on this surface.
It's a little bit muddy, but my mutter was a mutter.
And this is just Woody being Woody. Looks like Aaron Walkfogle's horse might be pulling away with it. 9 to win. Aaron Walkfogle. 7-2, 4-6. There's Circuit Tap, my horse, you hack. You feel pretty good about that win, don't you, kids?
It's pretty easy. You just pick the horse you like the best, and he runs the fastest.
Do you think, like, when they win, they take bigger dumps than usual?
Do they go back and throw the barefoot wine all over each other in the bath? How about it's like a 4-legged horse pogo?
That was good times, and the people at Churchill Downs took great care of us. Mint juleps on the house. 17 serving 18.
Brad Keenan. Oh, loop-de-loo, off speeder, just out of the reach of Raji.
Boy, I love how he slows his arm down just enough to get it to fall into that corner there. That is a nice job. Any hitter wants to come in, approach as hard as he can, and make it look like he's going to hit hard every time. And he stopped it up there.
Rogers.
Hard shot, cross court, 18-19.
Karch, what Keenan just did on that previous play was almost like a pitcher in baseball throwing like a knuckle Eepus pitch or something. I mean, it just looked so fluffy.
And it faked everybody out, including one of the world's best defensive players, Todd Rogers. He could not get a hand on that. So Keenan needs to do that 2 more times, and they notch a game 1 victory here.
A lot of people have trouble hitting the changeup. Oh, there's the serve that he does so well in crunch time. Dalhausser will have a chance for the tie. He usually does. And now is no different.
19-19, all tied up.
And the mistake that Brad Keenan made right here is giving it to Dalhausser on a broken play. Got to try to make Todd Rogers beat you on defense there. That's going to be a tough play to stop. Dalhausser crushing the line against the big Keenan block.
Nobody in the world takes over games like Phil Dalhausser with big serves and big stuffs. We'll see what he does here at 19-19. This time he goes into the net, so a break, I should say, for Brad Keenan and John Hyden. That makes game point here in game one.
Ladies and gentlemen, on your feet, game point, game number one. Rise as one, 20-19.
And a net violation, 20-20. And Karch, I know teams often think, because you hear about it when you talk to them, they really feel like against Phil and Todd, if you're going to beat them, you at least got to get game one.
And they had their chances, but now it's important for them to still keep this advantage. Raji probably breaking out the floaty again here. Keenan has to make a good pass, get the offense in rhythm.
And in that violation, we now have game point, game one, the other way. On your feet and stay on your feet. 21-20. Phil and Todd now lead.
Hey, if you're having a good time out there, the AVP reminds you to vive responsibly. Be safe. Rogers with a chance to win, 21-20.
They go to Keenan for game one. Hyden's going to have a chance to keep the game going. Raji with a dig. And Rogers taps it home.
22-20. Give it up for Phil and Todd. Game one.
Hyden and Keenan see it slip away in game one. How will they respond? Coming up next.
What's up, Louisville, Kentucky? How we feeling out there on Memorial Day? Phil and Todd lead 8-6 in game number two.
Now it's time to go over to my guy, Karch Karai.
Well, coaches talk about it a lot, Geeter. Opportunities to respond. Keenan Hyden up 19-18 in that first game, letting that lead slip away, and they even fell down 4-1 in game two, but they're responding now and pulled back to almost even. That's the way you learn how to compete hard against the best team in the world, Dalhausser Rogers.
Big Brad off the block for 7-8.
Brad Keenan played his college volleyball at Pepperdine University. A huge server and big blocker. He's going to have to impose his will here in game number two.
Big Brad in his third final. Just wide.
And that's the serve that he got Dalhausser on, the same screwgy where he looks like he's going to go cross court with it, then comes back around, tries to pull it down the line. The side spin on that took it out by just a few inches.
Phil goes to the sideline at Keenan.
Big Bradley. 8-9 heating up from the left side.
Boy, when Keenan gets a big approach and takes that full wind up, that is a hard ball, a heavy ball, and even Todd Rogers, one of the best Ds in the world, can't control it.
Big Brad coming up with the block, 9-9.
Well, Keenan coming up with his first block there, Geeter, just off there. And actually, I was a little surprised. Raji stops right here. It does bounce out a little bit. I guess he just couldn't make the last dive for that. Too hard to predict where that ball's going to jump out of the net.
Just handled the ball, 10-9. Keenan Hyden now lead by 1.
And Geeter, remember, it is sprinkling a little here, so the ball could be just a little bit wet. That may well be the reason that we've seen two mishandled balls by Dalhausser in this 1 second game here.
Big Brad Keenan, he got it! 11-9, make some noise, Louisville!
Watch Keenan here. He makes it look like he's going to take the line and then reaches his right hand way in to take away that middle ball. That was a shot that Rogers hit effectively in game 1. Now Keenan trying to take it away.
Brad Keenan for number 3, 12-9.
Karch, you see the frustration on the face of Todd Rogers.
Well, if there's been one problem that team had, of course, he's been sick all weekend.
Yeah.
But the other thing is sometimes Dalhausser's sets will drift a little, and that one went too close. You can't put it too close to the Dalhausser block. You can't do that to Brad Keenan either.
Brad Keenan stepping up huge in this final. Didn't get many blocks in game 1, but now he's affecting all of Rogers' shots.
And did you see how far that set? Because Dalhausser, look at how frustrated Rogers is right now. He wanted the ball a little farther off. It went 7 feet off, and Rogers was way under it, couldn't make a play. So Dalhausser's sets are drifting a little. One too close, and that one too far off the net.
Keenan and Hyden lead the world champs 13-9. Stick around. Crowd here in Louisville, Kentucky, just loving it. And folks, this year it's all about the race for the Crocs Cup, the AVP's version of March Madness, which culminates in Manhattan Beach, the biggest beach volleyball tournament of all time in September. As you look at the Crocs Cup point standings, Dalhausser and Rogers, after winning the first 4 tournaments, have a huge lead. Time for the Bud Light tournament recap. Let's hang out with Anthony Bedell and Fred Souza.
We're mic'd up here. Suck on that, Kevin. We are in the beautiful city of Louisville, Kentucky at Waterfront Park. About to play our first match of the day at 7:30 p.m. Ready to take it to them. We know that in any given weekend we can beat anybody and we can get to the finals, and that's been our goal from day one. It's definitely our forte, having him in the front blocking and me running around playing defense. Fred's an intense guy. I think sometimes people misinterpret his actions. There's no gray area with him, you know. He's hungry or he's not hungry. He's either happy or he's not. Dug a ball, tried to go jumbo on match point. I got a little spanking from Freddie, so not going to do that anymore.
You hit the ball all match. And the last point to turn like jumbo, no way, buddy.
I got Todd and Phil, and ready to go.
Let's go.
Oh, that's special.
Fire's good. You know, there's a lot of fiery guys on this tour. It tends to work in their favor. We expect a lot out of each other, and we know the fire is coming from a good place. I can block a ball here and there. Usually when I get stuck up there, I usually get 1 or 2 a tournament. Definitely frustrating. There's 3 really good teams overseas playing right now. It's just one of those tournaments where we really have to take advantage of our road and our situation, and came up short. Always try and take the positive things we did out of the tournament and take some good energy in the next week.
And we take a look at the rest of the results. Lucena and Scott a third, and back-to-back thirds for Olsen and Wong. Mayer and Nygaard, their best finish of the year. And Dax Holdren and Will Strickland in 7th. Back to action. As you see Brad Keenan, they lead 17-14. A little bit of rain and some wind picking up here in Louisville. Keenan to serve.
Raji pinned on that antenna.
And it's a great shot, Todd Rogers. Nowhere to go but there. 15-17.
Well, Keenan has talked about having to relearn his footwork as a blocker. Indoors, he was a middle blocker and moving a lot from side to side. Now he's just standing there, and he's still trying to master it. You can see him just missing there, not getting quite the good footwork he wants, and his hands went apart too much.
Go!
Big Brad unhappy. He thinks he got that ball. Got his hands underneath the sand. Got to lay that out. They called it down as an ace serve.
That was a pretty quick whistle there. Sometimes a player will get that ball, even though it looks like it might have hit the sand. And you rarely see Keenan upset with a referee. He's a pretty even-keeled guy out there. He took the ball like he was going to throw it right at the referee's head there, so he may have a point.
Yeah, he did cock it back like he was going to fire it at him.
He was ready to.
Let's take another look, Karch.
Here's the good angle. Oh, I think he might have gotten that one.
St. John gave me the thumbs up. He got it. Man, you hate to see that.
Hey, Geeter, you know what? His hand hit the sand, and that's why they called it down, because he kicked up the sand, but his hand got under the ball.
But the good news for Johnny and Brad is that they bounced back, didn't let it affect them too much, got the side out they needed, 18-16.
Another opportunity to respond, responding well that time. OTRs.
Out of system again. Johnny Jamba's there with a dig. And a feast down the line.
Johnny Hyden, 1916. We take the turn.
Wow, what a hit by Hyden from about 10 feet off the net, ripping it into the corner. Watch how he gets a set position and breaks at the last second, just one step, and he's in a position and stays behind the ball. He didn't get under that one, even though it wasn't a great set, and makes the play.
I tell you, Brad Keenan made a nice play there. That ball was set inside. He really took away that angle, and Rogers at the last second went down the line. Johnny made the read, 19-16.
Johnny, the fast twitch hammer. Game point on your feet here in game number 2.
Crowd rising in Louisville, Kentucky. Hyden and Keenan with a chance to force a game 3. Hyden to serve.
What a great set, falling backwards. Philip Raji says, let's not get excited yet. 17-20.
I don't know anybody else on this tour who goes for that set with their hands, Peter, but Dalhausser has such a sweet, nectar, subtle touch there. Now the harder task for them, earn points off their serve, and they got to do it 3 times to keep this alive, this game, and not go game 3.
And Rogers serves it long. Hyden and Keenan, 21-17. They force a game 3. Stick around, don't go anywhere. We'll be back.
Thank you. These 4 performers are giving you everything they have out here today. Don't you feel that? Give them a round of applause. Give them a round of applause. Todd Rogers has had the flu all week long. He's not feeling his best, but he comes out here, the 4-time best defensive player in the world, comes out here and gives you everything he has. He feels no pressure. Over the last 3 years, that young man has been the best player in the entire world, Mr. Todd Rogers. What about this guy right here, ladies and gentlemen? Are you kidding me? He is 6'9", the thin beast, the most intimidating man in the entire world. The day he was born, the nurses looked at the doctor, and the doctor looked back at the nurses, and then they looked at his mom and dad, and they said, "My Lantis, we have the most intimidating force in the world. When this man is 28 years old, they're going to call him the Thin Beast, and he is going to be the greatest player ever." What about you, Johnny? What about you, Johnny Hyden? You spent a lot of your career indoors, man. You went to 2 Olympic Games, man, and then you came out to the beach and you started to get respect every single year, and then you teamed up with Lambeau and you won that title, but then you didn't win one for a long time, did you? You had a beautiful daughter, Sam, a wife, Robin. You got to Vegas last year and you got the ultimate prize, the individual event, King of the Beach, Johnny Hyden. Oh, you Brad Keenan with no shirt on. The confidence grows, the tan gets better, and you get leaner. Son, you have arrived. In college, you were the best player anyone had ever seen. But out here, you had to learn the game. You were a big kid who thought he was going to be an accountant. You're not going to be an accountant. All you're going to do is count your own money, son, because you've got 15 more years in this game. And this is your chance to win your first ever title. Are you ready? You bet your ass you are. That's what I'm talking about, Louisville, Kentucky. I don't care if it's raining. I really don't care, because I feel like this is Memorial Day, and the veterans have laid it on the line for us. Over
Junior, you are on Olympic
that
August
felt good.
form
Yeah, that
there.
felt good right here.
You might be peaking a little too early.
Yeah,
this
let's
year.
not peek. Let's not peek.
Keenan with a bomb. 1-0. The AVP would like to remind you to vive responsibly.
Keenan coming out right, bringing the heat past the Dalhausser block there. That's the way to beat this Dalhausser-Rogers team. You have to stay aggressive, have to hit the ball in the court around that block.
1-0. Keenan and Hyden. Rogers. And Rogers. Johnny thinks he should have had that one, guys.
Well, Keenan thought he should have had it too, but he hasn't been around this game enough to master the back flippy there, and he just missed it. The right-hander made no contact.
Big Phil. 1-1 on the board.
Dalhausser hard at Hyden.
St. John, you can just feel the confidence grow every single point for John Hyden and Brad Keenan.
You know, the big thing for them is they've hung in there, and they've waited for a mistake, and a couple setting mistakes happen. Raji had a little trouble putting the ball away, but they've been very consistent. They stayed right with them, and that's how you win tournaments.
Two on the board.
You know, guys, usually when you lose game one to Tottenville, you rarely see the team come back and win game two. That's got to give a little extra confidence to these guys as well.
Especially when they came out down 4-1, but they hung with it, served a couple of aces, and got a couple blocks from Keenan.
Oh, Rogers. Hyden wants to lead when they switch sides, and they do.
3-2, switching sides. We applaud. Keenan Hyden lead. Phil and Todd by just 1 point.
There's the left-handed stab by Rogers. Hyden does a great job moving his feet. And then there it is, that wrist-away shot down the line. Hyden and Keenan lead, 3-2. Don't go anywhere. Last November, AVP stars Jen Boss and Jake Gibb traveled to the Dominican Republic with Crocs as part of their Souls United initiative. Souls United is a first-of-its-kind recycled footwear donation program where people give back their worn-out Crocs to be recycled into new shoes that are then donated to people in need around the world.
Kids are just, they're so amazing, and the looks on their faces, just even right now before we've given them anything, is just, it's priceless. There's definitely hope. You could see it in those kids' eyes. They just got really excited about that pair of shoes.
It was perfect. Just coming across, you're like, okay, this is the place we need to be. These are kids that need the shoes.
Partnered with Crocs is like the coolest thing that I've ever been a part of. I would do this again in a heartbeat.
Great job, guys. Such a great program. We appreciate Crocs and what they do. If you want to learn more about this, you can go to soulsunited.org. 7-7 tie here in game 3. Short off the tape to Hyden. Raji runs down the line shot. Rogers.
Big Brad Keenan makes a big saving play. Keenan stops the angle. Ace out on the board. Make a little noise. Here we go.
Let's take a trip back in time. 1990, Boulder, Colorado. St. John Smith and Randy Stoklos taking on Brent Frohoff and Karch Karai. $100,000 on the line. Game match championship point. A young Randy Stoklos serves down the line to Frohoff, and Stokey with the stuff. St. John Smith and Randy Stoklos continue their domination over the world. An awkward celebration, but a big win for Stokey and St. John. Back to action. Johnny Hyden serving the line.
Johnny with a dig.
Hyden Off the hands of Raji, 9-7.
And you can tell Raji a little off his game. That ball right at his head, and he doesn't control it. Just still feeling the effects of that flu he's been feeling the last few days.
Rogers, hard shot. Nobody home, 8-9 on the board.
Watch how Rogers comes in, and he looks like he's not approaching that hard, and yet he's a very deceptive jumper. He has to be, because he's only about 6'2", and he contends with all the biggest blockers in the world. Gets most of the serves, has to do it over and over all weekend long, every tournament.
Professor always knows what he's doing, even on sick days. Still the teacher. 10-8. Just how important is it to keep this 2-point ad against this team?
Well, Hyden and Keenan could not do it in game 1. They did do it in game 2. 5 more plays and they can finish this out. 5 more times where they receive serve, put it away.
Sure, they'd love a point here. And a 3-point cushion. Rogers off the net. Cut shot, Johnny's there. Phil will have a chance. Phil up and over and down. Got it. Wow.
That is scary. Nobody on this tour hits over Brad Keenan. But Dalhausser is not just nobody on this tour. What an up by Hyden there. Again, though, scramble play. They could not get the ball to Rogers. Go to Dalhausser again. Right up and over.
You and I are laughing because we're down on the sand carge. And how tall is Brad Keenan?
He's like 6'9", 6'10".
And he kind of just went up and over down his back right there.
That's just not fair.
I like Brad without a shirt. He's looking good. Free, he's moving around. He's confident. And he's up 11-9 on the switch. He's 4 points away from his first title.
Getting rid of that Farmer's 10, he may get the victory to boot.
Hyden and Keenan just 4 points away from taking out the world champs. Don't go anywhere.
There's a place nearby that's full of unbridled adventure, unbridled artistry, unbridled discovery, and unbridled excitement. While many states can offer your family a good time, only one can offer your family an unbridled good time. For your free Kentucky Visitor's Guide, give us a call.
What you see before you today is a shoe of materialistic fantastitude in a new substance called cross-light. I'm calling it the farewell to smell. The versatile textile. The ultimate state of lightweight in the criteria against bacteria. The rubber like no other.
The 2008 AVP Louisville Open is brought to you by Crocs. Play hard, live comfortably. By McDonald's. I'm loving it. By Bud Light. Keeps it coming. And by Kentucky Unbridled Spirit. The Ohio River divides Indiana and Kentucky. On a wager, AVP pro Austin Rester had the not-so-bright idea he could swim it.
Austin Rester here. It's about 6:30. I'm going to swim the Ohio River.
Hit it, big dog. Probably a little harder than I thought it was going to be.
I'm trying to be a good sport about it, but I can't feel any part of my body right now. Indiana to Kentucky in an hour. It's time to collect my money.
Make a little noise, ladies and gentlemen. How we feeling? 12-10 on the board. Cut shot, Raji, 11-12.
I think Keenan and Hyden would really love to have a cushion of earning just 1 point on their serve, but Rogers siding out too well right now, so they may have to earn this victory strictly on receiving serve, putting that ball in a good spot, putting it past the Dalhausser block.
It's been perfect weather all weekend long until today. There is a light drizzle and wind coming in. And Raji buries it for 12-12. We talked about this earlier, and I'll tell you, he's been working on this serve. He doesn't break it out all the time, but Rogers brings heat with his new jump serve.
And because he's been float serving so much, they're not ready for that at all. When he does break out the heat, it's that much more effective because it's different, changing the rhythm up.
Great serve. That one just goes a little bit long. Make a little noise for 13-12. You're seeing the #1 team in the world taking on Johnny Hyden and Brad Keenan. Looking for their first ever title together. #3 for Johnny, #1 for Brad. Crunch time with Hyden to serve. Raji, 13-13.
They continue to battle. Rogers, doesn't matter if he has the flu or not. He has been unbelievable all day today.
And this is a huge play for Keenan Hyden here. They want to get to tournament point.
Johnny Hyden, can he get to 14?
Phil Dalhausser, 14-13.
How do they bounce back now? That's the question. Phil does this so often.
Another opportunity to respond here. They did it in game 2. Hyden and Keenan have an opportunity here to keep it alive.
Game match championship point. We rise as one. 14-13.
Phil with a chance to win it.
They've done it again. Phil Dalhausser and Todd Rogers. What a match. 15-13.
Phil Dalhausser and Todd Rogers make it 5 for 5 on the AVP Tour. Now it's time for the Crocs Fancy Footwork Play of the Day. Big Brad Keenan with serve. Raji gets scooped by Hyden. But the Beast would have a chance to end it. Over Big Brad Keenan. Our Fancy Footwork Play of the Day brought to you by Crocs.
Welcome back here with Todd Rogers, Phil Dalhausser, our Gatorade Champions interview. Phil, I'm going to start with you. 13-13, you came up with a huge stuff. Take us through that play.
First of all, I have to thank Todd for hitting that ace. It's pretty clutch to make it 12-12, I believe. And then that block felt really good because I never blocked John. And at the point of the match, it was even a bigger block, I guess.
Yes, it was at 13-13. Raji, I want to talk to you about what a gutsy performance. You were not feeling your best. You've been sick all week, but you came out here, you got every serve, and you played almost flawless.
I don't know about flawless. I played well enough to let Phil carry me to the victory. That's how I do it.
Well, hey, it's got to feel good, guys. That's now 5 for 5 on the AVP Tour.
Sounds good to me.
It does, doesn't it? Phil Dalhausser and Todd Rogers, our champions here in Louisville, Kentucky.
It's been a great weekend here in Louisville, Kentucky as Todd Rogers and Phil Dalhausser walk away with the crown. For Karch Karayan, St. John Smith, I'm Chris McGee. We'll see you next time.